Namaste.
Namaste.
Hello and welcome to today's episode where we explore the evolving landscape of infrastructure development in India through the lens of innovative public-private partnership. I'm your host, Deepika Upadhyay, and today I'm joined by Dr. Naresh Bana, a public-private partnership advisor who will be sharing his expert insight with us. In this episode, we dive into the Balagarh Inland Water Transport Terminal project, a landmark initiative that reflects how logistics, policy, and financing can come together to drive regional economic growth. Today, Dr. Bana will unpack the structure, challenges, and opportunities behind this transformative project. Dr. Bana, let's begin with the basics. What exactly is Balagarh Inland Water Transport Terminal Project?
Deepika ji, Balagarh is being developed as a major inland cargo terminal on National Waterway-1, the Ganga-Bhagirathi-Hooghly river system stretching from Haldia to Varanasi. The project is located at Balagarh in Hooghly district, approximately 85 kilometers upstream from Kolkata. The terminal is being developed by the Syama Prasad Mookerjee Port Authority as an extended logistics gateway for the Kolkata Dock System. But let me first tell you why there is need to develop the inland waterways. See, the transportation costs generally follow a simple hierarchy. The inland water transport is less than rail and rail is less than road. If you do a little comparison, for bulk cargo, the road transport costs about 2.5 to 4 times the rail cost. What I said, 2.5 to 4 times of rail cost. So railway becomes important. And when you compare rail freight with the inland water transport freight, it is 2 to 3 times cheaper. The water transport is 2 to 3 times cheaper when you transport by waterways. So if I give you an example, if you have to move 1000 tons of coal over 1000 kilometers, it may cost roughly US dollars 10 to 15 per ton when you move by inland water transport, that is through the rivers, and it may cost 2.5 times to 4 times of the same if you move by rail, and almost US dollars 50 to 80 if you move by road. You see, China has leveraged the Yangtze River waterways and extensive inland systems to shift their large cargo volumes into barges, and that reduces logistic costs. And firstly, it eases congestion, and then it reduces cost and makes their goods more competitive. And that is all connected to their manufacturing hubs and through the seaports. So India is just trying to follow a similar model. This project has an estimated investment of approximately 500 to 540 crores. It is designed to handle about 2.7 million tons of cargo annually, including approximately 1,50,000 20-foot equivalent units, that is the containers, along with coal, fertilizer, pulses, and other bulk commodities. See, the terminal is planned in nearly 100 acres, with additional hinterland storage areas extending to around 300 acres. It will accommodate inland barges of up to 3,000 deadweight tonnage operating on National Waterway-1, which is not a small craft. 3,000 tons means almost 300 truckloads. And strategically, Balagarh is being developed to decongest Kolkata city traffic by moving cargo through waterways instead of roads. It will serve industries in North Bengal, East Bihar, the Northeast region, and even neighboring Nepal, which is dependent on Kolkata port for their export. So the project aligns closely with the Government of India's Jal Marg program, which is to transform National Waterway-1 into modern logistics corridor, and that is with the World Bank support.
So, if I may sum up, it's a strategic connectivity initiative. Moving ahead, so this is not merely a river terminal but a logistic hub integrated with regional economic development. What do you have to say about it?
I say absolutely. It is a multimodal logistics concept where waterways, road storage yards, and container terminal handling facilities are integrated into one ecosystem.
So that clearly positions Balagarh as a catalyst for regional trade and industrial growth. So how has the project been structured from procurement and public-private partnership perspective?
Deepika ji, this is one major uh, inland water transport PPP project. The project structure is quite innovative. The project has been divided into two distinct components. First, the common infrastructure such as approach roads, connectivity works, and basic facilities are being developed through EPC mode by public agencies, right? And the second is the cargo handling and terminal operations, which are being offered through a PPP concession framework. Approximately rupees 407 crores is expected to be invested by the private concessionaire under the PPP component. And the concessionaire is expected to design, finance, construct, operate, and maintain the terminal and facilities while paying royalty linked to cargo throughput. That is, it's on a DFBOT format of PPP. See, this model aligns incentives between the port authority and the private developer. The more the concessionaire handles the freight, the greater the returns for both parties. Yeah.
So this highlights how innovative public-private partnership models are shaping modern infrastructure delivery. So why is royalty-based bidding becoming popular?
From the PPP perspective, Deepika ji, it's a public monopoly. And when the government partners with a private entity, depending on the bankability of the project, it's either the royalty or the viability gap funding. One of them is agreed to. In this case, the project is bankable, so the royalty is being sought. That is, whichever private party offers maximum royalty for the cargo they are going to handle, uh, they get to do the project, and it's going to reduce the financial burden on government and ensures long-term revenues port authorities, and it also encourages concessionaire to aggressively market the facilities and attract the cargo.
Sir, it reflects a shift towards performance linked and revenue driven projects model. So now moving on to finances. How the finance has been done. So my question is, financing often determines project success. How has financing been structured for Balagarh?
See, it is basically a blended model. Out of the total project cost of approximately 539 crores, about 132 crores is being supported through public investment under Inland Waterway Authority of India's programs, and approximately 407 crores are expected from the selected PPP concessionaire. And the broader National Waterway-1 development program itself has benefited from the substantial World Bank financing. So, National Waterway-1 is one part of the World Bank financing for National Jal Marg Vikas project, because World Bank brought in about $375 million for India's Jal Marg Vikas project. So, therefore, thus, Balagarh benefits from both sovereign backed infrastructure development and private sector operational investment. See, the financing arrangement appropriately allocates the risk. The public sector funds are for common infrastructure, and private investor uh, funds the revenue generating assets, and user ultimately pays through logistic charges.
Clearly, financial structuring plays a pivotal role in ensuring long term viability. So, that sounds like a textbook public private partnership structure. What do you have to say about it?
Indeed, it's a practical example of risk allocation in infrastructure finance, which is being very meticulously and nicely done, because PPPs in India have become very mature, and such arrangements are not very rare. They are in fact common.
So, isn't it a great example of how theory translates effectively into practice? What challenges are likely to arise during this construction?
Deepika ji, like any shore based construction, first is geotechnical uncertainty. You see, riverbank soil conditions can vary significantly and require extensive stabilization measures. And then there is hydrology and river morphology, the river currents, the sedimentation pattern, and seasonal water level variations in India can affect both construction and future operations. You can appreciate that it is unique for Indian subcontinent to have the monsoon phenomena. We know that there is a seasonal variation in the river, though the river Ganga is perennial river, but there are seasonal variations which could be very different. And then there is a connectivity infrastructure. Even if the terminal is ready, inadequate road connectivity can delay commercial operations. And then, like in all projects, you have environment compliances, and more so because there is a lot of flora and fauna depends on this mighty river and its banks. So they must carefully manage ecological impacts and secure multiple statutory compliances. The project is already obtained environmental clearance, which is a major milestone. And then the construction schedule must account for monsoon seasons, which can significantly affect the progress of works.
Well, all I can say is managing these challenges effectively is key to timely project delivery. Beyond construction, sir, what are the major project risks?
Very right. You see, all such infrastructure projects have many other risks in addition to the construction. And here, though there is no foreign financing involved directly, but there is first and foremost the cargo risk. The studies have been done, but if the traffic and the cargo as such is not going to be as projected, then the revenue declines. And once the revenue declines, the project is unable to pay back their debts and it becomes non-performing asset. So there is requirement to have long-term agreements with coal, fertilizer, containers and agri-logistic customers. Then we have navigational risk, because from Balagarh up to Varanasi, the navigation is there, but it greatly changes due to the shifting sandbars, due to the seasonal variations, and there is therefore a requirement for continuous uh, mapping and fairway management under National Waterway-1. And like any other project, you also have regulatory risk, where the situation may demand that governments may impose certain tariff changes, environmental norms, or policies which can impact the operations. So the concession agreement will have to capture all such risks and change in law provisions. Then there is competition risk. The competition comes from the not so much from road but from the railways, because they are more definite and not much costly. So you need to have very credible services, very credible cargo services being operated through the Waterway 1. And then there is financing risk, where the interest rate fluctuations can affect project viability. The key lesson in PPP projects is that risk should be allocated to the party best able to manage that, and that needs to be encompassed in the concession agreement which will be drafted. I am sure the best people are going to draft that.
Addressing these risks ensures sustainability and investors' confidence. So, what benefits can India expect from projects like Balagarh?
Deepika ji, as I said, it's going to be hugely beneficial project. Firstly, the inland water transport significantly reduces the energy requirement, and it's more efficient than railway and road transport. Then they reduce congestion in metropolitan areas like Kolkata or the cities which are on the way, right up to Varanasi. And then the overall logistics of your manufacturing gets reduced if you move the cargo or the finished goods through uh, waterways. And then such projects stimulate industrial development in hinterland regions. And then we all know that waterways generate environmental benefits. They are less polluting. And World Bank estimates that the modernization of National Waterway-1 can substantially reduce greenhouse gas emissions by shifting freight from roads to waterways. And finally, the projects like Balagarh strengthen India's multimodal logistics network, supporting the objectives of PM Gati Shakti and National Logistics Policy.
This truly underlines the transformative impact of multimodal infrastructure. So, as a PPP practitioner, what lessons would you draw from the Balagarh project?
Yes, uh, without learning the lessons, what's there, the podcast. So let me go over one by one. First and foremost lesson is the waterway development has to be like logistic systems and not isolated terminals. Then the secondly, we can say public funding should be for common infrastructure development, while capital funds are best for commercial facilities. Then, as a third lesson, we can say the cargo commitment is more important than infrastructure creation. Cargo must be secured before commissioning. So you must have long-term agreements of provide or pay or take or pay kind. Then there is requirement of environmental approvals which should have been taken, like in this case they have already been taken. And the concession agreement has to clearly allocate navigation, demand, financing, and regulatory risks. Lastly, the integrated planning between ports, waterways, railways, and highways creates exponential and higher economic benefits. In many ways, Balagarh represents the next generation of PPP projects where logistics efficiency rather than mere asset creation becomes the primary objective.
Valuable insights here for shaping future infrastructure projects in India. Thank you for joining us. It's been a pleasure hosting this insightful discussion with Dr. Naresh Bana on the Balagarh Inland Water Transport Terminal project. Today's conversation highlights how strategic planning, innovative financing, and effective risk management can redefine infrastructure development in India. We hope this episode offered valuable perspective for policymakers, professionals, and anyone interested in future logistics and PPP projects. Until next time, stay tuned, stay informed and inspired, and keep experiencing the ideas shaping tomorrow. Namaste.
Namaste.